The role of the production company is to make the film. They are responsible for casting the actors, choosing the crew, filming, producing the soundtrack, and everything that helps to get the film into a finished product. They are also responsible for gathering funding. Given that my film is independent with no budget, I would have to find ways of gathering funds. One way could be through production synergy. If I could attract the attention of many smaller production companies, they could come together and pool their resources to make a film with a larger budget and resources. Another modern way to gather funds could be for me to use crowdfunding sites, such as Kickstarter, where members of the public can donate towards projects if they want to. This would probably more help me to get enough money so that I was able to attract the attention of slightly larger companies. If I had to choose one production company, I think the BBC Films would be the most suitable to produce my film. BBC Films describes themselves as the feature filmmaking arm of the BBC, working in partnership with major international and UK distributors. BBC Films aims to make strong British films with range and ambition. They say they are committed to finding and developing new talent, as well as collaborating with some of the foremost writers and directors in the industry. They mention that they don't mind working with new talent, which means that they don't mind working with unknown students like me. BBC Films are part of the BBC, who are run by the government, and as such, they have to make films to appeal to all sorts of audiences, young and old. This means that they make films from lots of different genres, including romantic comedies. They recently produced an urban romantic comedy, 8 Minutes Idle. It is described as, on the BBC website, as a quirky romantic comedy about the perils and traumas of your first job, when enforced promotion, murderous parents and homelessness gets in the way of true love. The themes and target audience are very similar to my film, which means that the BBC may be able to produce my film as well. 8 Minutes Idle is also similar to my film, as it started off with a very small budget. The film actually had to use Kickstarter as well to get the funds to help produce and distribute their film before and after the BBC's involvement. This again shows that the BBC is not afraid to support a project that has started off with a very small budget, like my own. Once the film is completed, it needs to be seen, otherwise all the companies involved will never get their money back. The distribution company's job is to get people to see the film. They get the word out about the film. They are in charge of where it will be shown, who will be given the rights in different countries, what TV channels can show it, and where it will be sold once it goes to DVD and online. Considering my younger audience demographic, today's technologically advanced society, and our devoted attitude to social media, it is important for a distribution company to stay up to date with the times. I would want my film to have engaging distribution methods because my audience prefer less mainstream things and enjoy discovering things for themselves. Perhaps I could have some form of interactive website involving social media, like what was used in the run-up to Batman The Dark Knight Rises release, as everyone's picture who retweeted was then featured in a website that made a picture. Although this film was mainstream, this subtle way to get it noticed is commonly found in the independent sector of film. I think a distribution company that is close to my own little heart film would be Studio Canal. Studio Canal say they have established a reputation for an innovative approach to distribution. A passion for film and commitment to creativity is essential to Studio Canal's activity in the UK market. They recently produced a film called I Give It a Year. Although some of the characters in this film are slightly older than my characters, there are some similar themes and the genre is the same. This film uniquely starts as the main couple are getting married. However, a few years on, they are not entirely satisfied by the relationships, and each character finds someone new who probably fit them better. This is obviously different from my film, however this film does feature an element of choice like mine does. There is more than one female love interest, and the man has to try and get the girl rather than the other way around. This shows that Studio Canal may be happy to distribute a film like mine.